The Saucony Endorphin Speed 5 is a versatile all-arounder, capable of those long runs, easy days, tempo efforts, and even races. Well, how did it do in my testing? And is this really the one shoe that you could buy to do it all? Well, let's find out. Well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve, and I want to let you know that Roadrunner Sports did send the Endorphin Speed 5 to me to review and test. They're not telling me what to say. They're not going to see this footage at all until I publish it on YouTube the same time you see it. And if you're interested in purchasing the Saucony Endorphin Speed 5, check out the link below in the description. It is an affiliate link. It does not cost you a cent, but it will help support the channel, which would be really cool, and I would appreciate that. So with that, let's start with the stats of the Endorphin Speed 5. It is a neutral road running shoe, and there is actually quite a bit of flexibility and twist in this shoe, even with that full-length nylon plate. As for the stack height, my men's shoe came in at 36 millimeters in the rear and 28 millimeters in the front, giving us an 8 millimeter drop. And for the weight, my men's size 11 weighed in at 9.2 ounces or 263 grams. For a do-it-all trainer, that is a pretty good weight. However, I do want to let you know that it is actually a decent bit heavier than the Endorphin Speed 3 here, and even a little bit heavier than the Hoka Mach 6. And for the fit and overall sizing, my men's size 11 fit just like all of the other Saucony shoes as well. So if you know your Saucony size, you should be good to go with your regular size. Moving to the upper of the Endorphin Speed 5, it is a new engineered mesh material designed to be very breathable and lightweight and comfortable. I mean, just looking at this upper, you can see it is going to be very breathable. I mean, you can see right through it. I can see the laces that I've tucked down inside underneath of it. I can see them through there. It is that, thin, breathable. To show that breathability, let's take a look at the tissue test. And you can see when I have that hair dryer on low, the tissue goes up very quickly. And then when switched to high, the tissue really almost came out of the shoe. I mean, you can clearly see that this is a very breathable shoe. When running, in the warm, hot, bright, sunny Colorado skies here in the summer, it's been great. I have felt that airflow through the shoe. My foot has stayed cool. It's been really nice. Now, I did not test the water drainability of the Speed 5 here, but looking at this upper, the tissue test, I can tell this is going to be a very good shoe if you happen to be running through, let's say you're doing a race where crazy rain, downpour, you've got puddles you're going through. I mean, your foot's going to get wet, but the shoe is going to drain that water. And let's face it, on the road, you're generally not running through creeks, so should be good. The toe box on the Speed 5 is definitely pretty wide for like a Saucony road shoe, and my toes had plenty of room to move around a little bit. I could actually move my foot inside the shoe a bit, and it was fine. And the toe box in the Speed 5, I feel, is actually a fair amount wider than in the toe box of this Speed 3 here. I just feel like I have a little bit more room overall. Moving to the midfoot on the Speed 5 here, and again, it felt plenty wide for my kind of normal to maybe slightly narrow width foot. And honestly, no hot spots, no discomfort at all. It fit great. And again, I would say it felt a little bit wider in the midfoot than in the Speed 3 here, which is welcome for me. I like that as well. The tongue of the Speed 5 here is not thick and it's not thin either. It's just enough material to protect the top of your foot from those laces. But as you see here, I mean, it is a very short tongue. It does not stick up out of the shoe very much, but it is just enough to really kind of protect the top of that ankle there, the foot, from the laces. Now, if I was to tie the runner's knot utilizing this other eyelet here, I think that might actually not be long enough, the tongue. So I'd be curious to see if anyone has tried the runner's knot. I didn't need it. I had a good lockdown with this shoe. And then, of course, the lacing system. I mean, what can you say? It does its job. They're lay flat laces. They stay tied. The length of the laces is good. It's not excessively long. And yeah, they do a good job. And also, I do want to mention the tongue is semi-gusseted on both sides, so it's going to help it from moving around a little bit. The heel collar in the Speed 5 here seems to be a bit more accommodating than the Speed 3. It feels, very comfortable. There's a little bit of padding. It's not excessive, but it's enough to really protect your foot for those longer runs, or maybe you're going to be doing a race. Should be plenty comfortable. But what I really liked about this heel collar in the Speed 5, I mean, you can look at the shoe and you can see it here. It has a really nice design and shape to it, where if you look at the Speed 3 here, you'll see slightly that this one goes in a little bit more. It's angled inward, and that caused issues for me in the Speed 3. I would actually get Achilles rub, and I got some blisters from time to time, and it was very uncomfortable in like a 2-hour run. I didn't have any discomfort whatsoever from the Achilles flare here, the heel collar in the Speed 5. It was great, very comfortable, and just a much needed improvement from the Speed 3. Overall, for the fit and feel and lockdown in the Speed 5 here, I feel overall that this is a wider upper than the Speed 3, which is good. However, I could still get a great lockdown, no heel slippage, no slippage anywhere really. It was nice and secure. So for me, this is a great upper. I really do enjoy it, and I think it's a big improvement from the Speed 3. The midsole of the Endorphin Speed 5 is a dual layer of the PWRRUN PB foam with a redesigned full-length semi-rigid winged nylon plate. If you look at the medial side of the shoe here, you can actually see this blue material, and this is part of that nylon winged plate. And you can also see it then at the very bottom of the shoe, kind of poking through the outsole and the midsole material here. Now that nylon wing plate does offer a little bit of stability when you're running faster in the shoe. It felt very good, but with it being nylon, it's not going to be as rigid or stiff as, say, a carbon plate. Now, when I first put the Endorphin Speed 5 on, right away I could feel this was going to be a very comfortable shoe. The cushioning was amazing from that dual layer of the PWRRUN PB foam. It felt really, really good. When cruising around for easy runs, that 36mm, 28mm stack height felt really comfortable and forgiving on my feet. Now, if I wanted to pick up the paces and do some tempo efforts, some strides, some fartlicks, things like that, the shoe definitely came alive and there was some response, some energy return in this midsole. It felt really pretty snappy. And of course, Saucony's speed roll geometry of the shape of the shoe helps you get a really nice and smooth heel to toe transition as you're going through that gait cycle. However, in my opinion, I gotta be honest, I think the Speed 5 was not quite as responsive feeling or fast feeling as the Speed 3 here. This shoe, I mean, I'll try to show you here, see if you can see. Flexing it this way is taking a decent amount of force. Now, when I do that with the Speed 5 here, I'm not using as much force, and I'm able to flex that plate decently. Now, don't get me wrong, the Speed 5 did feel good. It did feel like there was response, and it's gonna be a great shoe for those that want to do, you know, mile repeats, or you're gonna be doing a race in it, a 5K, a half marathon. It's gonna be great for that. However, in my opinion, it did not feel quite as fast of a shoe as the Speed 3. Overall, though, I think the PWRRUN PB midsole foam in the Speed 5 here is awesome. It felt great, and it did feel a little bit more cushioned than in the Speed 3. And I think for somebody that wants to buy a shoe to, like I said at the beginning, do it all, you know, tempo efforts, fartlicks, you know, easy days, recovery days, long runs, races, I think this midsole is very capable of doing that. The outsole of the Speed 5 is quite nice as well, and there is actually a little bit more of that durable XT900 rubber in the high wear areas like the heel here, and also in the forefoot. It is a bit thicker and certainly more than in the Speed 3 here, but Saucony did a good job in adding more in those high wear areas without being crazy and going very thick, and it's not going to add a lot of excessive weight. On paved surfaces, this outsole felt fantastic, of course. I had no issues, but there's also a route that I like to do that is pretty much half paved and the other half is either hard packed dirt or gravel. And this did awesome. Really, there was no issues whatsoever. Felt very confident. And I also didn't feel those rocks, you know, on the gravel road poking through at all. It felt very comfortable. There really isn't much else to say about this outsole. It does a good job. It gives you traction. And that's about all you can ask. Well, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 5 retails for $175 US. And now, unfortunately, that kind of seems to be on par with the competition right now. The shoe prices keep going up. However, I do want to note that it is about $15 more expensive than when the Speed 3 came out. But I do think with that added rubber on the outsole, this midsole, it's going to be a durable shoe that's going to last you for a while. Well, the bottom line of the Saucony Endorphin Speed 5 is they really are fantastic, versatile shoes that really can do it all. If you can only afford to get one road shoe, then I think the Endorphin Speed 5 is going to be a great option. It can do the easy days, the slow cruising around miles, the tempo efforts, fartlicks, speed work. You could even go race in this shoe. And so I think for those people, this is going to be a fantastic shoe that should last them quite a while. Now, if you do want to get a pair of the Speed 5, like I mentioned, please consider using the link below in the description. It's not going to cost you anything, but it will help support the channel, and that would be much appreciated. Well, if you tried the Speed 5, or maybe you tried the Speed 4, or even the Speed 3 here, let me know what you think of the Speed 5, how it compared to those shoes, if you like the ride, the feel. Let us know your thoughts. I'm sure everybody else would like to see those comments as well. Now, another great road shoe that I think is capable of kind of doing it all, the faster paces, racing, or easy miles, and it was quite surprising to me, honestly, is the Salomon Aero Glide 3. Take a look at that full review on your screen right over there. Go check it out. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And thank you to Roadrunner Sports for sending the shoes as well. I appreciate you all. I'll see you in the next one.